Right, and believe it or not, we are back with another update for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Listen, again, the amount of updates we are getting just about a game that pretty much came out a little over a week ago, maybe closing in 2 weeks at this point. Fantastic. So, as you can see right here, we have information that an update patch is planned for around late October. We're pretty much at the end of October here, so that's beautiful. And the first thing here, improvement of an issue where some controls become unresponsive during online matches when classic controls are selected. That is something I've experienced a lot myself, and essentially, if you choose to be on the classic controls and the person you're going against has on standard, the game doesn't seem to really comprehend that at this point, so it tries to make you both standard, but because you are on classic, it essentially just leads to you being unable to use certain skills and being locked into one move, pretty much. Not fun. Very, very unfun. You can lose entire matches due just to that, and there have been some workarounds and things people said have worked. I've tried them. They personally have not done anything for me. So hopefully when they do address this, it fixes it universally and it's not something you have to try to work around. Now next here is an adjustment of difficulty levels when playing certain stages in episode battle on lower difficulty settings. Now what that means entirely, it's somewhat vague. But there has been, again, a lot of talk online about certain stages. Great Ape Vegeta, Goku versus the Ginyu Force 1v5, Jiren going against, who was it, Goku, Frieza, 17, somebody else, I think it's a 1v4, 1v5. Just things of that nature. Got Goku Black and Zamasu, playing as Zamasu, getting beat up by Vegito. So there's a possibility that maybe it's gotten that bad that they're looking at it. So we'll see. Adjustment of Yajirobe's stats. Now this is gonna be a hilarious change, I'm sure, because, well, first and foremost, this is one of those things where people didn't expect them to ever touch the balance of this game at all, because people who were even advocating for the game were like, Tenkaichi games were universally broken. This was the old days, so there was no such thing as a patch. They never got fixed, so we should keep that this same way. However, we are in a different age. We're in an age of social media. We're in an age where you can fix a game after it's been released. So, maybe that's just what it is. And Yajirobe he's something. So, there may be people who are upset with this just because they don't want people to be adjusted in general. But there's going to be a larger crowd of people like, yes, thank you, good gosh. Whatever it takes to make Yajirobe less of what he is. Even if just by adjustment of his stats, they raise him from DP2 to something else, so you can't just slot him in any team with, you attack on Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta, and Berter, Videl, and Yajirobe, something like that. So whatever that comes down to, he's being looked at and adjusted, which is news in and of itself. And then right here is just improved operational stability. Again, very general, very vague. That could mean a great number of things. We don't really know at this exact moment what that would look like. But again, there has been some issues in functionality, just in general, especially so like for the Xbox crowd here, right? These Xbox Sparking Zero servers are reflecting the only one who bought the game. So I don't have Xbox myself, of course, but I do have a lot of friends who have gotten the game, on the Xbox, or just heard from people that have it there. And yeah, from what I understand, it has been torture. I don't know what's going on over there, but it has been torture. Now, I do remember quite a few people were saying before the game came out, hey, it's gonna be mostly PlayStation players, and it's gonna be some PC. Wouldn't recommend getting it on Xbox. I remember Series X speaking about that specifically. People didn't believe them, they didn't listen, and yeah, this is like I will never buy an Xbox ever again, or a Bandai Namco game. It's over. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So another thing though, just in general, that people are hoping that they they do touch with this update, this whole vanishing thing. If you haven't seen it yourself, it's just, you know, when you're in these matches and you guys get into like a little vanish war, people feel like there should be some level of repercussion here, so it doesn't just go on forever like this. Whether it's taking more ki or speeding up the longer it goes on, so you can't simply again just stick with the timing that you already know, because at that point, once you get the timing once, you have it. You have the timing, so it doesn't take much more than that. You have the timing, and for a lot of people that makes for a very unfun experience, which I get. You know, at some point it's like, okay, I get it, but this is going and going and going and going. Now, another thing is this right here. Maybe this is what they're referring to with operational stability, because you're talking about, again, players who reported their save data was being deleted and forcing them to restart their game. Again, not something I experienced personally, you know, knock on wood, but I did hear that this was quite a big thing at some point, where there were people who were just turning their console off, turning it back on, and boom, their save data was gone. And in a lot of ways, that is insane. So I definitely feel that. Hopefully, that's something that, again, that gets addressed. It's just not fun. And then lastly, just in terms of the difficulty being adjusted, yeah, again, there's a lot of fights that people just said, you know, for them, insane, the CPU is too hard, whatever it is. I didn't find that to be the case, but again, Sparking Zero is literally catering to a new demographic of people who weren't even alive when the original Tenkaichis came out. So maybe that's just what it has to be these days. Maybe it is too difficult for some people, and it's a lot more people than ever before. Tenkaichi 3 was like, what, 1.2 million sold overall or something? Sparking Zero was 3 million in 24 hours. So, listen, we're gonna have to play it by ear, again, see what's happening. It's a new age, so they're gonna have to handle it differently. As much as we'd like them to keep it grounded in what it was, there will have to be some adjustments. That's literally just how life works. There's also people, you know, talking about after Image Strike, specifically on Vegeta. We all know that. In general, it's good that they have some updates planned. They're already listening to feedback. They're looking at the game. Again, it's only been a couple weeks. It's only been a couple weeks, so we'll see where it goes from there. But this is the quick little update that we have so far. If anything comes out, you know, of course, I'm gonna be on it, and yeah, we'll see where all this goes. Until then, happy sparking.